We talk football and current events, sitting and chatting with the very best guests, with two Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes, Sitting and Chatting.
Hello and welcome back to the Sitting and Chatting podcast. I'm Whyte.
I'm Thayjamieallan.
Jamie, glad that you're here. It's we're kind of swapping roles, you know. You're in the casual t-shirt, I'm in the fucking hoodie get up now.
No, I can go amend that, but I can't be asked, to be honest.
Nah, that's fair.
I'm happy being switched for a week.
Even drinking as well, we are really switching roles.
Well, we are, aye. Well, I was watching the football prior to recording this, so I had a wee beverage with the family to celebrate another 3 points. So,
how many wins are you then off the title?
4 wins now. So it's exciting. It's getting to that exciting.
So what? You'll likely win it then mid-March.
Providing everything goes well, aye. I mean, the sooner the better at this point, to be honest, because if we can, let's hypothetically say we win it in the next 2 because Celtic dropped 2 games, then it means our European run can be better or more focused on. Do you know what I mean? So we're playing Thursday night against Royal Antwerp, which we should beat them. But if we could go out there and put a full team out against them rather than maybe resting the casual players out there, a bit better. But only time will tell. Hopefully, as long as we get in the line, I don't care. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's.
I think I'm past the stage of like what you were at with Liverpool, or last year we won it, and it was at that, the kind of mentality of I don't want to say it's over.
Yeah.
But I was past that with Liverpool long before you, and again I'm at the stage now where I'm long past it. But a couple of previous games for us has just been a bit too squeaky bum for my liking. But I've not got too much fear yet,
Well, I mean, let's face it, if you fucking don't win another 4 games this year, then that is the biggest fucking bottle job that's ever happened.
Massive, I don't. Celtic can't go unbeaten for now at the end of the season again, anyway. So that doesn't even matter. They need to play us twice, so it's not happening. But even at that, I mean, it's I'm past the stage of worrying, but it's exciting times. But that's what I was doing prior to the podcast.
I'm going to be honest with the viewers here. I'm going to pull down the curtain a wee bit. We were meant to have a guest on, and we will hopefully at some point have them back on, but it was a bit of last minute backing out. So this is a very hastily thrown together podcast, considering, if you can't tell by the nick of me, I'm quite unwell at the moment and was also watching the football at the same time Jamie was. So, bear with us a week, all right? We're trying to keep up the schedule here. We've been doing very well. We've hit our best numbers in ever. The last month or two, the last 2 months, hit our best numbers both on Spotify and YouTube, and this is the most consistent we've been probably in 2 years. So we'll keep it up,
and we will keep up. I think it was just a case of, it's no easy way, obviously, the COVID stuff, which is something I'm going to talk about with you. But the guest backed out on us at last minute, but it was because it's
for a good reason.
He does serve the country, so.
I mean, who are we fighting, really? I mean, poor excuse.
He serves the country, so we'll let him off with it.
Once,
he doesn't get another opportunity to fuck a bit, but no, it'll be good to have him on when we do get him on. Hopefully very soon. But speaking of which, we keep up the podcast and stuff. I think COVID's helped us in terms of being able to keep the consistency going, in terms of, yes, I'm still working and it still is frequent, nothing's changed in that manner, but I'm not going out to work. I've got time. I now appreciate the time that I spend in the house because I've got nowhere else to spend it. So I now realise that the wee escape of going and doing a podcast can really help. But on this topic of COVID real quick, right? Obviously, you've got families that are in the hospital and stuff. Can you bear with me? And it's fine. having family members in, NHS and hospitals and stuff. What do you make of the jab? The reason I ask, okay, is because my gran went and got her first one today.
Nice.
My dad took her. They done the jab. Takes no time at all. They sit for 15 minutes after it, and then off they go. She gets her second one in 12 weeks' time or something like that.
Yeah.
How? Because obviously there's a lot of feedback on it in terms of, it gives you COVID, it does this, it does that. Obviously, most of it propaganda, a lot of pish. But having family members in the NHS and stuff, especially really close to home, what do they say about the jab? Or they got opinions on it that you've asked of it?
Like, well, for those, I suppose, the new guests, what Jamie's alluding to is my mum is still a nurse. She's a band 7 nurse, for anyone in the NHS that knows. It's like band 8's like the highest, like you're running you're in charge of everything, and then like band 7's like the next lowest down. So like she's pretty high up at the top now, but that does still mean that she's in and about it now. She's a bit of a weird case at this point, actually, because at the very start, when bringing it back a wee bit, when COVID first sort of happened, Forth Valley was actually the lowest infection rate in the whole of Scotland. Yeah. So she actually was given holidays right at the start of this. She wanted to be in, but she had to take holidays because she pre-booked off. So she didn't see the big side of it at the start. And because she wasn't involved at the start, she's not actually been on I don't think she does it much frontline work, so i.e. the people that are dying of it and seriously unwell, she doesn't deal with that sort of side of it, but she obviously still is in contact with people that will have it from time to time. Going back to what you're saying though, her thoughts on it, she's all for it. She's had hers, she got hers at the same time the first vaccine rolled out, so she only has a couple of weeks left before she gets her second one.
Okay.
And she's all for it. She gets a wee bit angry as well with the non-believers, shall we say, the conspiracy theorists, because she sees the effect that the people that go in that haven't had the vaccine, obviously, she sees the worst of it. And, she was also 100% behind folk to get it, and she would also recommend anyone to get it. I was someone that was brought up with the intention of having all my jags, and I will go and get my COVID jag whenever I'm allowed to get it. Don't know how long, it'll probably be another year, but I will get it whenever I can. And yeah, she thinks it's great. I think it's moving a wee bit slower in Forth Valley compared to other regions.
Yeah.
But that I think is due to the fact, and forgive me if my facts are wrong, but I was actually speaking to her the other day, and she was saying that now Forth Valley is actually the worst infected region all across Scotland. So I think that might be part of it, why it's taken so long to get out, because also there'll be so many folk off sick and so many other people to treat. But yeah, I think she's glad that it's just moving along now, and my gran, her mum will be in the next batch. My dad's already had the COVID jab, so slowly but surely moving along, and it's positive. What about from your family's perspective? And we can cut this out if you're not happy with it.
But... No. So I mean, for the start of the whole situation, my dad's always been a massive, follower of the rules, shall we say?
Yeah.
And at the start, I would openly admit that prior to the legal side of the rules coming in, I was still going to Duncan's on a regular basis when he was still here. It was nearer the time we learned he was going to Afghanistan, so obviously I went to spend as much time as possible with him before he went.
Yeah.
So my intentions were good. It wasn't just because I wanted to go in there, because it's not what I would do. But going around and then going into like the hot tub or having drinks, just whatever it may be. I was round there constantly. I was round to help his mum do stuff around a bit when he was away, because he was getting COVID tests, he was getting visas for Afghanistan. There was loads and loads of stuff he was doing, and his mum still needed help, so I was helping her as well. So there was reasons for me going, but regardless of that, I was a big believer of it's very, very dangerous, but if you restrict yourself to who you see and what, you'll be fine, is what I
Yeah.
thought at the start. So obviously, you know, I realised how wrong I was, which is fine, because, you know, luckily, and touch wood, it never happens, but none of us have had it. So, and, you know, I hope that it never happens, but, you know, there's times where my wee sister will ask for people to stay over, and it's like, my mum and dad, I've got to try and tell her, like, that's, like, we're not normal yet. So, like, our 17's coming up soon, which, by the way, scares me. I didn't even know that was a thing. Mate, that blows my mind, honestly.
She'll be nicking your car soon.
I mean, honestly, folks will ask how old she is, and I'm like, 14, 15. And
Something like that.
aye, from a bit there, but then my mum was like, she's 17 in March. I'm like, what? 17? It's like, fucking hell.
I know, you're about to be an old cunt, 23. No one cares.
Mate, I know. But I was, you know, so she was like, I want folk to come here from one in particular, don't get me wrong, it was just one person to stay on for a 17, 3 days, blah, blah, blah. So that was fine. My mum and dad then went over it where again, like Beckani, confirm or deny now, because obviously the rules are set. But my dad for the start's always been like very much so, nah, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, we're not doing this. That's fine, fair enough. And that's the way it's been drilled in since for the start. Not that I've ever wanted to, you know what I mean? I've never really wanted to, you know me, I'm happy when one company, I'm happy in the house. You know, I do miss it. You
were sort of all for it at first, weren't you?
I was very much so. Getting time off work, but then that quickly changed. But no, you know, so I don't mind it. But I've always been pro the rules, right? So my dad is, you know, talking to my wee sister about it, like the Jags and stuff. And my wee sister's like, no, it's because she's stupid, but she's clued up, if that makes sense. So
I get you. She's a conspiracy theorist.
No, well, aye. She's basically, she doesn't trust the government.
Okay,
I don't blame her.
that's fair.
I didn't think she was that wise to you know, that side of the country. But she was like, what if this is true? What if this is true? And my dad's kind of just trying to, like, this is it. You know what I mean? We need to get it. That's it. So my gran went and got hers today. She says it's fine. Obviously, you know, you've had people that's had the first jab and that's happened. So it's more so, if this reaches 10 people that were against it, hopefully, you know, it sways that 10 people that listen to this and hear us talk about it, hopefully it sways their attitude towards it, because I'll go and get it when it's available.
Because you're kind of 50-50 about it at first.
I still am. Don't get me wrong. I still, you know, I don't trust the idea of allowing something that's been worked on so little to just be jabbed in to my body. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit mental to think about. But at the same time, you know, you go back to the topic of cancer, and it's been around for, you know, decades, and we've still not came up with a cure. And it's like, I know it's completely different, but if you've had that long to work on a specific type of cancer, so breast cancer for years and years and years, but then this coronavirus comes out and boom, they've got a vaccine like that, and then it's sold off in like in an auction and stuff. So it's to me, it's a bit mind blowing. Do you know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, I'll go get it. You know, because if my family's going to get it, I'm not going to be the only one that can potentially put them at risk. You know what I mean? It's just not. Yeah. It's not what I'm going to do. But aye. So if you're against it, I would consider changing your mind. I would, you know, don't read the shite of it gives you COVID, or it does.
Don't take your info from the Sun. Say.
Effectively, aye. Be wise in who you choose to use as your sources, is what I would say. But hopefully people realise that it's very much a good thing for us. Yeah. But I want to see your from having family members in the NHS. I want to see kind of where your head was at it, because
100%. I mean, like I said before, I've had every jag there was possible. as a bairn and as an adult, I've had them all, so I'm not gonna miss out on this one. And it's going to sound a bit deep what I'm going to say, right? But I am this much at the point where I want things to go back to normal that I'm effectively willing to take whatever risk it takes at this point. Now, is that stupid? 100%. But I'm at the point now of caring so little now that I will do it whatever. But like Jamie said, though, it's important to be clued up. And if you are one of these people that truly believes that it's going to give you COVID, then I'd seriously suggest like maybe reading other things, getting other people's opinion. I don't want to be someone that says that you're going to be wrong 100%. You might be right, but like Jamie said, are you willing to take that risk to potentially infect your family, your friends, your loved ones, whoever it might be? You know, it just doesn't seem worth the risk. Read up if you've got friends that have got family in the NHS or you know further afield. Reach out and just ask a question, because it's obviously a massive topic, you know, because we're kind of living in it. You know, it's a global pandemic for a reason. So definitely don't just make your decision based on the sun. That's what I'll say. I mean, never read the Sun to start with. That's priority number one. Unless it's page free. I love it. Even at that point, mate, there's free porn online. like, don't invest your money. Don't waste your £1 into that. Go and get it for free. No, it's not £1. It's £1.80. Fuck's sake, mate. Well, it's a bit worrying that you know that. Oh, £2.20, I think it is. Oh, my dad reads it. I'll not lie to you. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to find out the price for that, because that's that. Mate, the robbing bastards nowadays. 100% robbing bastards, but. In general, regardless of the price and stuff, definitely just avoid it at all cost. Read what the NHS supply to you. You know, there's forums online. Because at the end of the day, right, this might be a hard truth to hear, right? Okay, but here's this, okay. If the NHS was supplying something, right, that will affect folk and give folk COVID, right, the NHS is already at a point where it's going to collapse. It's got too many people it has to deal with. Like, it's overwhelmed constantly. See if it was given something now that will give folk COVID. Guess what happens? Where are all those people going to go back to? The NHS. So why would they supply them with a drug that's going to cripple them completely? They wouldn't do that. Like, what's the benefit for them? What's in it for them? Exactly. So that was a small detail that I was wanting to get in about. Just quickly before we move on, do you mind me asking? We can cut us out if you don't want to. But like, are your family folk that have like also been jagged or stuff in the past, or is this like the first one you lot are going to get? In terms of what sort of jags? Well, like, you know, like when you're a bairn, you get like measles, smallpox sort of jags. I think get jags at school as well. Like, have you had all those, or is this the first one that you're actually getting? No, I think I know everybody here's had it. I don't know if Emma missed a couple in school. I missed one or two in school. I don't know what they were, but we've had most of them. My dad has to get everything by driving lorries. Case infects. It's mandatory. They do like a full medical on them every year and stuff. So he needs stuff like that. And I don't know about my mum, in all honesty. She's diabetic, hence why, you know, we're kind of more cautious than some others are taking it. So yeah. No, I get that. As far as I'm aware, most of us have got the stuff we need. Because similar to you, one of my mate's girlfriends is I won't name them in case I don't want to be put on smoke, but they're also someone like your wee sister that's very much I don't trust the government, I don't trust the chemical sorts of things, and they're very much on the fence. So it's their boyfriend's very much for it. So it's like causing a lot of division there at the moment. But hey, it's a bit of a mad topic, but I wanted to get an insight because I know someone who listens. I'll not name them, and she has spoke to me a few times now in regards to the jab and how she's worried about it and stuff. So
I was just trying to, no get in her head that it's safe. It's just a case of give her an idea of people have had it and it seems to be okay. But don't take her word, of course. But it's be more cautious before you make your decision of yes or no, effectively. But it was all that, yeah.
Absolutely. Good on you for bringing it up. I think it was a wise thing to do.
But it's an interesting one. But hopefully we're back to normal soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still think it'll
before
be
2022. I'd like to.
I seriously think it'll be. I think we're having not like full lockdown, but I think it'll be exactly the same as last year. I think we'll get to like March. We'll be allowed out again for a wee bit of freedom. We'll be put inside again. They'll let us out just before Christmas, and then come Christmas, they'll lock us back up again.
Just every year now.
Yeah, like you get like 2 weeks in summer, everyone breaks the rules, everyone's fucked and stuck inside again, and that's it permanently.
Just mind blowing. But follow the fucking guidelines. There you go. That's what I'm saying.
There you go. Good.
At minimum, follow the fucking guidelines.
Should we make that the title? Follow the fucking guidelines.
Nah. We need to talk about something more controversial than that.
Well, we'll move that on then. Good
Go for
segue. I ken you've not seen it. There's a show called The Mandalorian at the moment. Star Wars. It's based around set in that universe, so to speak. Have you seen the stuff about the actress in it?
Nah.
Okay, so in it there's a side character who is a former MMA fighter called Gina Carano, I think is how you pronounce it. So she's recently been sacked from Disney. Disney have sort of sacked her indefinitely. The reason being is that so she was a big Trump supporter, right, and big Republican over in the US. Right. And she said because people back in November when Trump obviously lost, she'd said something along the lines of like the vote was rigged and all that kind of stuff, typical Trump supporter stuff. But she done an interview there last week, and she said that hate is basically, she basically compared people hating her political views to the Nazis gassing the Jews during the Holocaust.
Right. Perfectly normal, right? Okay.
And in response to being axed, she said, "In my experience, screaming at someone that they are a racist when they are indeed not, capitals, a racist, and any other or research you will do will show the facts, then I'm sorry. These people are not educators. These are cowards and bullies."
Well,
presumably talking to the Twitter mob that got cancelled in Disney, I imagine.
So, what was her name again? Just read it again.
Gina Carano.
Right, so we're going to assume she's not American.
I'll quickly check. I think she is. Let me check.
She might be born there, but certainly that name does not sound American at all.
Our family might not be. Let me check.
Yeah.
Where is she from? She's from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as all good Republicans are. She was in that awful movie as well that we watched, Fast and Furious 6. I think that might have been the last time you and me went to the cinema together.
Yep.
She was the one that batters Whyte in Dubai, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I can't see here where her family are from, but
so let's assume she's not American because that name does not sound at all.
Well, her dad is a professional American football player, but it doesn't say here what her mum is. Oh, she's got a small percentage of Italian descent.
Right, okay. So she's more American than anticipated, to be fair. But, typical American supporters of Trump are not foreign or, they're proper patriotic. They're American through and through. So it is odd to hear that she was a Trump supporter and was not fully American. Yeah. So that blows my mind originally. But see, the thing is, Twitter is a wonderful platform and you should need to pay money to be on it. But what I will say is the power that it has is quite mad. To get cancelled. Having said that, you know, if you're comparing such a traumatic time for not only a nation, but a full fucking, full religion, it's to something that's happened in, a political situation. It's just mental. But to sack someone on their political views is quite wrong in every word of it.
I don't think she was sacked though because of her political views. I think she was sacked because of that comment. It came after that comment. I think that's why she was sacked.
Was there a quote on the comment, or was it just a case of it was referred to as...
She was talking about when in November she was saying the vote was rigged, and then she compared the treatment of her political views to the Jews being gassed during the Holocaust. So it's came.
How does that even compare? Like that, I don't understand how you can come to that conclusion of, wait, hold on, I think she's trying to say is as bad as the Jews getting gassed. Like it's just a fucking mindfuck to me.
I'm not agreeing with her here, but I think she was trying to maybe make the comparison that what's the way of putting it? That like it's like a branch of people being silenced in a way, just one's virtually and one's, actually, fucking gassed.
I get it in that sense, but at the same time, it's a mad one to use.
Here's a bit of a controversial view, and I think you've kind of alluded to it already, but we might get some hate for this. I don't think you should be fired if you're a Republican from a TV show. As mad as that might seem to people, yes, I know some people have some mad views that are Republicans, and clearly she's one of them. But it depends upon your actual political beliefs, shouldn't get you sacked. Now, I hate the Tory party, as I've made very clear on this plenty of times. But if say, I don't know, if say Daniel Craig, I don't know if he is or isn't, but say if he was a Tory, just because he supports that political party doesn't mean that he should be, removed as such. Now, it's your actual views whilst in a specific political party, though, that I think is fair enough. For example, that quote is just clearly fucking ill-advised and, insensitive. Yeah, exactly. Should she be sacked for that? Personally, if I was in charge, I would have, I think.
Yeah, I would sack her for a comment that's referring back to a tragic time.
Yeah.
A time that you'll never experience.
Oh.
So it's well distasteful. But
because I see a lot of people as well commenting on it, saying like, "Oh, it's PC gone mad," because people seem to be under the belief that it's over political views, and because being a Republican or being a conservative at this point in time is quite unfashionable. But like I say, I don't think people necessarily have a problem with the political affiliation. It's more the views embedded in with that as such.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the one thing I was going to say is, I think everyone, right? Every single person has a belief or something they would say that could get them sacked. Every single person has something in them.
Oh yeah, whether they want to admit it or not.
Exactly. I've got it, in abundance, to be honest. But it doesn't refer back to tragic times or race or anything like that. It's I think you know what it is, but regardless of that, it's a case of, would I ever bring it up in a work, in a work environment, or you put me in a position of power, which is, even being an actor, you have the power to affect a lot of people.
Especially in a franchise as big as Star Wars, that's loved by
you're looked
millions.
up to. So if I was in that position of power, would I say any of the stuff I would say? No. You would keep it to yourself. It's your comments, it's your beliefs, it's your opinions. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but keep it to yourself in a position of power. But at the same time, if you've got a political view and you want people to wake up and smell the tea, put your power at, use your power, abuse it. So I don't know if that's what she's done. Do you know what I mean? If she's seen it as an opportunity to go, well, I feel like the vote was rigged, so I'm going to say it and hope people think it, and then we can maybe get a revote and stuff. And it's never going to happen. But you don't know what goes through people's heads. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. So, in desperate times, go for desperate measures for some people. But
yeah, she threw a haymaker and it didn't work.
aye, so it was very, very distasteful. It got fucking dodged a screamer. So, but that's mind blowing to me that she's compared it to that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't exactly quite work, but yeah.
Especially when there's a lot of Jews in Italy, if that's where our family's from, because Italy's got a high population of Jews.
Yeah, but also if she's lived in America her whole life and she's been brought up to feel a certain way, she probably wouldn't give less of a fuck.
Aye, true. Especially when she can scrap any cunt.
Very true, yeah.
Aye, I wouldn't let a square go. To say the very fucking least. Fuck that.
Just quickly moving on. Another person that's had controversy in their life, but has since kind of tried to move on at least. Logan Paul. Did you, by any chance, see his newest video?
What one? What was it?
So about a week ago, I think it was, he basically done this video where, give a bit of context actually. Late last year, he done like a box opening of Pokemon cards, a first edition box. For those who don't know, well, everyone knows what fucking Pokemon is. It's a card game, anime games, all those sorts of things. It's a franchise similar to that to Star Wars that's been going on since the 90s. And every year they release new cards and new games and all that. And as such, they're very popular. It's the biggest franchise of all time, apparently now. Like total gross wise, it's apparently made something like £90 billion. But the first ever cards that were produced, so they basically come in like a big box, and there's 32 cards in each. It's the sort of thing, if you go down your local, I don't know, Tesco's or whatever, they'll be sitting along the side. You can buy like a pack of cards for 99p. These ones I bought, though, were the first ever ones produced, and as such, they're worth quite a lot. Now, 10 years ago, they were worth £500 per box, a big investment.
Yeah.
But then he bought his for 200 grand and sold every single pack of it worth £11,000.
That's scary.
Mental. I don't actually think we brought this up beforehand. I think we might have missed this before, But anyway, so bringing it back to the point. So that live stream, so he sold all the packs, so he made a profit on it. And he donated the third of it, I think, to charity, which good on him. Yeah. But he's made a new video, and it's like one of my. Like, I looked at it, and like the fucking editing on it was so good. I'm a particular stickler for watching edited videos, and if it's done well, I can really fucking get behind a video. But this one is basically like, right, okay, I love that. I love Pokemon and all that. I'm going to buy every single one of these boxes that there are left. So there's not many left, obviously, because it came out in 1999. So 21 years ago now, 22 years coming up. And in the video, he goes through, he doesn't buy them all because there's no telling how much there are actually left. But in the end, he buys 6 of the boxes for £2 million. And it's worth so much money that he has to sell his actual gaff now to be able to afford it. He's put his house up for sale just to feed this addiction, which is fucking mental. And he's doing the same thing of where he's going to, like, sell, like, most of them again, basically keep, like, some for himself. And apparently him doing this the first time, so when he bought the first box for, like, £200 a few months ago, it's since nearly doubled in price because he basically set a new price point. And I just find it fucking mind-blowing that a franchise which, well, personally for me, I grew up on, I loved the TV show, I never was big on the cards itself. I find it mental that, you're selling a pack of 8 cards for 11 grand.
I know.
But it's mental to think, though, like, if you get one of those cards and if it was opened by him because they do another thing as well. I don't know like I don't know much about card collecting, right? But see if you do get a rare card, you can send it away to PSA, which is in America. PSA basically like look at your cards, grade them, and send them back. They rank it from 1 to 10, and also if you get a 10, that's the highest and it's worth the most. He basically, when he done the first box set, and anyone that sent their cards away to PSA from there, if they got a 10, PSA agreed to make it like a special edition Logan Paul like 10. So it's like added extra value onto it. So he himself basically in 4 months is like doubled the brand, like doubled the fucking like the card brand of Pokemon, which if you think about it, it's worth 90 odd million or whatever. That's how much it's grossed its entire lifetime. And him in 6 months has made it worth double the amount of money it has ever been worth in 22 years. Which I know, like I can't think of anyone that's had this much effect in one single like area as such. It's fucking mental.
I know. I mean, there's things that's been done though, like Mr. Beast with growing trees and stuff. Like,
okay, yeah, but I'm trying to think of like actual brands that have been this that have benefited this much from one creator. I can't think of one.
Nah, I mean, like you can go to small brands like Foot Asylum and stuff. They've grown they just triple, if not quadruple, the amount that they were when they brought on, you know, people like KSI and Chunks and Philly. But to hit a brand that was already thriving, and double the revenue based on 6 months' work is pretty impressive, to say the very fucking least.
It shows you as well, like he was the ultimate definition of cancelled a few years back. You couldn't get more fucking dead and buried than Logan Paul, and he fucking came back and is now this massive. And now, at least in his videos, comes across as quite likable, which is.
I get definitely done a lot of growing, to say the very least. But in like I've watched his content for time because I think his content's great. I love the 6-minute videos. It's nothing that you need to sit down and watch. It's just a case of you can fling it on, go fucking do whatever, come back, and the video's done, and you can just go back to whatever you were doing prior.
Yeah.
So like I love the small area of content. Where I see videos like you sit down on a Sunday night, knowing fine well you've got a 30-minute video for like the segment to watch. So you're dedicating 30 minutes of your time to that. Whereas with Logan Paul, you could just be going to the bathroom and going to fire that on. And you spent 8 minutes and that's you done. So it's good in that sense. So I've watched it for time. But he's definitely done a lot of growing because he was the definition of his channel deleted and never to be spoke about again kind of mentality. But he just came back and he's done well. He's got a lot to thank to Alana Rhodes for that though. Massive, by the way. Her and Mike.
I don't think I've ever heard of this Lana Rhodes before. I don't know who that is.
Nah, I think she was an actor of some sort for.
Right, okay.
Yeah, she went out with that Mike guy, his pal. But I don't have any idea where she's from.
No idea. Never
seen it. She's got some bundle. But no, his content I actually enjoy.
Yeah.
But it was definitely on the way out. A couple years back.
I can't get my head around how fucking mental his effect on one brand is. So that's a bit mad. But from him to his brother, segues all over the shop today. Last time you and me were together, we were talking about who we might end up fighting, and well, a name that both not you or me suggested. It's been confirmed since then. I think it was like a day after we uploaded that. That was perfect timing. And unfortunately, we didn't really have a segue to be able to introduce in the last episode, so we're very late. Fighting Ben Askren. Have you watched him before? Is it?
I mean, it's an embarrassing fight to take.
For him? Or
for both. It really is, honestly. It's there was so much scope for opportunity and he's fighting yet another Diddy. So I will not be watching it. But it's gonna be a bit tougher for Jake this time.
You think? Well, yeah, actually, yeah, it's impossible for it to be easier at this point.
Aye, it's gonna be a bit tougher this time. It's not gonna be massively difficult. I think, depending on how much training Jake puts into his camp, will determine whether he wins it or not. Because one hit could decide it. But I think Jake will win it.
Love nothing more than him to get knocked out. Love it. Especially
if he gets knocked out there, that's him. His whole boxing side of his career's done.
Oh, actually, shit. Maybe we don't want him to get knocked out because he'll just keep making that shitty music if he gets knocked out.
I'd rather listen to his music than fucking hear him going on about how he could smash everything. Because he's a gimp, to say the very least. So
he is the definition of a gimp. Like, there is no bigger gimp in society. So
I would love to see him get slapped up. Done with that. No bother. See you later, Jake. I'll be back to your fucking Team 10 house shipwreck. And leave it at that.
Well, claims he's taking it seriously. He's moved to Las Vegas to fight. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I've seen it in one of his training camps. It's fucking pretty heavy duty. So they do like 4 hours non-stop, and then he takes an hour off, and then he goes into sprints for like fucking another 2 hours. But he's shredding something like 14 kg every day and having to eat it back. It's scary. Like, he's been admitted to hospital once already. So his camps are going well, to say the least.
Yeah. So you think it'll be an easy one for him then?
I think he'll beat him. I think he'll beat that Ashwin cunt. But
I think as well, because I'm by no means any sort of fight expert, so I had to do a wee bit of digging, and the consensus is apparently it should be a very easy one for Jake Paul at this point in his career.
It will be. I think you'll see Jake Paul go another 2 Diddies, and then he'll fight somebody that he meets, and it's like, all right, okay, fair enough. You're taking this serious, Jake. No bother, come here.
The thing is, so people are already starting to lose interest because he's not fighting a KSI or a Conor McGregor. So if he does do another 2 Diddies, will he have the attention enough to fight someone big?
Because he's obviously got a massive following. But it's whether
you need to hope for some massive KOs if he has to fight another 2
he needs to go first round knockout like McGregor, Ronaldo sort of business for people to go, all right, fair enough. Then he'll fight his next opponent, and hopefully it's somebody bigger and better. And if he wins that, fair enough. You hold your hands up and say, maybe you are cut out for a couple more fights to see if you can fight at a higher level. But somebody like him, or even somebody like KSI, they're never going to reach a level where they're fighting somebody with actual proper talent. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be constant fucking.
Oh yeah, I mean they all started when they were in like their early to mid 20s. You can't develop the talent in enough time when you're at your physical peak to be able to compete with someone that's been doing it since they were like probably 5 or 6 years old.
Exactly. So it's an interesting one, but he'll win this next fight unless he gets caught. Is what I would probably say.
I will say for Ben Askren, though, he's taking a fucking big risk, because if you get knocked out by the Vine kid, that's your career over.
Exactly. Definitely. But I mean, the thing with Jake Paul is he's only 24, Jake Paul. So he's still got time for another 2 years. Say he does 3 fights in that time, maybe even 4. He would then be at a level that you've interrupted me. What were you going to say? All right, okay, cheers.
We interrupt this podcast.
What was I? So I mean, if he gets another 4 fights during the 2 years, say they're big, 2 of them are big fighters, he beats him, goes another, 3 games. That's 5 opponents that he's fought in a professional sense. Then you could start thinking I'm serious. But if I think personally, right, it's going to go Diddy, McGregor, KSI, Sago over. And that's how it's going to go. But I could be wrong.
But the question is, the ultimate question, if he fights KSI, who wins? Ooh.
Honestly, don't know. I would back Jacob most in with the utmost regret of saying that. I would have to back him.
I can't deal with the fucking like the last year and a bit. It's been shite enough. The last thing I need in my life is to see him a champion.
Couldn't bear to think about it.
That is like just seeing the villain at the end of the movie win it all, and like the heroes need.
I know. Fuck that for a game of giggles.
I know. I'd hope the world was fucking into that point.
Dad,
we interrupt this podcast.
Hold on.
Well, Brent will be back, and we're back after that commercial break.
That was the Fergus part.
You're right, actually. You would be right, actually, if Fergus is able to produce one this week.
That's pathetic for him.
I will say that, before we move on to your topic, I do actually like the fact you brought it up. I fucking love movies when I'm in it, by the way. He's done so well for like the first 2 or 3 of them now. I'm excited to see what more he does. He says he's got big things planned. The reason why
his editing so interesting. Gets me up to the minute.
The only reason he's not doing one this week, I should stress for the viewers, is because he's got uni work due for next week.
It's an embarrassing.
Yeah, you tell him. I'll clip this out and send it to him.
Embarrassing excuse.
Yeah, hopefully back to normal service next week, but we'll see. So yeah. So your topic that you're quickly going to mention just briefly.
Briefly, based on the fact that, as a couple of football fans, right, we never really talk about anything other than football.
What are you talking about?
And we get a bit of feedback.
Have you not listened to the theme song? We talk about current events and football. We do 2 topics, Jamie.
And we get a bit of feedback saying less football, which is fine. So rugby, right?
This is what you asked for. I hope you are all happy with yourselves.
I watched 8 minutes of England v Italy today in the Six Nations.
Right.
Primarily because it was on before the Rangers game. I'll divert for football though. And I watched 8 minutes of it, right? And it was the most boring 8 minutes that I think I've ever watched.
Of anything.
Cricket is made exciting.
Okay.
Badminton is made exciting.
Badminton's high pace,
Exactly. Squash is actually a lot better to watch. What I will say about rugby is it is pure shite, and I don't understand why people watch it. But I watched for 8 minutes. I seen one try.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know, is taking it past the byline.
Which is basically in the equivalent of football a goal, I suppose.
Yes,
for those that aren't aware.
It's effectively a free, it's a 7 point. Is it 7 point? I think it's like 7 points.
If you convert it as well, it's 7 points, yeah.
Aye. Which I did.
We're experts, as you can tell.
Aye. And honestly, it was shite. It was the try was good. It done well to get past the 2 players, but it was just pass back, and it was all the way to the right, and then they couldn't fuck it any more to the right because the line was there. So what they done is they went fucking through them, and then they started throwing it fucking left. And I was like, I've never seen such fucking
up the line, down the line, up the...
I was like, this is watching Liverpool in their prime here, moving their ball from left to right, and going nowhere with it. And then eventually this one guy just fucking flew out of the cunt and then just run and got away from everybody. Touchdown, happy days, fine. Then it all started again, and I was like, "Is this all they do?" And my dad was like, "Was you?" I was like, this is pish. So you know what I done? I switched to air and listened to Neil McCann talk about shit before the Rangers game, and that was even more exciting. I hate that cunt. But the reason I bring it up is, do you watch the Six Nations when it's on?
I know. So previous guest of the show, Ben. But Ben's a big rugby fan, as the title indicated. But yeah, like he's a massive fan of it. So like, if I'm ever with him and the Six Nations is on, we'll usually watch it. The thing is, like, I've been to quite a few Six Nations matches. My uncle used to be a season ticket holder, and you know, when Scotland's actually decent at something, that's quite nice. It's one of those things though of just like, I'll never find it as interesting as football. Like, and people make the point of always saying, you know, Scotland and rugby is a million times better at football, and that's true. I'm not going to try and deny that. However, my one point being is, so the last time we beat England at what do we call it, at Wembley was in '99, right? Okay. Last time we won at Twickenham before today was 1983. Okay, there's a bit of fucking difference there. You know, there's a whole 10 years.
For clarity, it was today, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, close enough. Like, I enjoy myself at the matches. Like, my uncle sent me to a few matches.
You can drink at them, can't you?
Yeah, I was underage at times. I couldn't. But
you can do it though, eh?
Yeah, you can. You can have like, you can. But I mean, it's fucking extortionate. It's probably like £4 or £5 for a beer. But I mean, you know, if it meant I could go to the pub today, I'd easily pay that and more. It's one of those things of just like, yeah, when a try happens, it's like, it's incredible and the feeling's amazing and like the whole stadium's celebrating, but it's a lot tamer. Like, it's a good family day out, but if you're really wanting to get hyped and proper excited, for me, it just doesn't do it.
No, there's no singing during the games other than kind of basic chants, innit?
Yeah. It's good if you're wanting like a nice like day out with like the family, as I did with my uncle. Like, it was a good day for us. Like, because obviously I'm not going to be, like, me and him aren't going to be going and like getting, you know, absolutely mental during it if it was like, say, a football match, because we have done that. Like, the vibe's very different to when he takes me to the football to when he takes me to the rugby. It's a lot more like calm. And even when I was in the rugby as well, it's quite strange because the last one I went and seen was us play France. Like, everyone just mixes in the stadium. So like, we were just sitting next to a row of French people. It was quite a weird experience. And like, when there's a try, like, everyone's like shaking hands and like, oh, you know, that's well done, sort of thing. Like,
fuck that, it's nothing me. Like, I'd need to kick fuck at them. That's nothing.
And I still fucking hate it as well, the comparison, because the only thing people say to me whenever I go, oh, why do you think rugby is better than football? They're like, well, it's real men playing. All opposed to those pansies playing football. This is a real man sport. I was like, okay, like, fair enough, down in the Prem, I get there's quite a lot of fucking
I love that pure sexism that comes out for the rugby fans, or the wee posh tosh with all the fucking brown leather shoes on going to the matches. Like, fuck off, you gimp. Not only that, honestly, it's always the same, right? It's always the same. Rugby, with a fucking stupid leather shoes on. Fuck you, yeah, prick. Not only that, it's a men's game. And you're literally less of a man than me. Not only that, you're a sexist bastard. Our sport is open to everybody.
We will happily take women to play football.
Exactly.
I do fucking hate that though, because like, see if you watch the average SPFL game, they fucking throw 2 feet into most challenges.
Oh, fuck I.
There is no diving up in Scotland. There's very little diving up in Scotland. It is pretty fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
Like, that people will kick 2 fucks out at each other during most matches.
Right.
But because these people have only ever seen like the back pages of the Prem, when fucking Bruno Fernandes does a Tom Daly and goes, they're all like, disgraceful. So yeah, it's over exaggerated a wee bit. And I fucking hate that. So what? So a fucking boy that's literally a human thumb will run into another boy. As you said, that is the action. And that's the entertainment. Right, okay. It's not like it's a proper scrap. It's not like they fucking throw fists down and actually.
It's not ice hockey. They don't fucking kick fuck at each other after it. It's dead. It is literally dead. They cuddle. That's it.
And as well, like the fucking scrums, you know, like when they're all like in a big circle. Shittest part of that whole sport. They're just literally walking back and forth, back. And
then the ball's in the middle. Why does somebody just no go in and get the ball?
Oh, they try and do that, but they have their fucking necks interlocked. It's just like
fucking stupid fucking concept.
Impressive, yes. I'm not going to try and take that away from them. It's still a sport, and if you're at the elite level, it doesn't matter who you are or what you play, it's impressive. 100%. Is it as exciting as the average game of football? In my opinion, no.
Not a chance.
But
go for it.
No, you go.
The reason I also brought it up was so when I watched England against Italy, and I went and said to my dad, because I know off in knowledge that Italy is shocking.
Yeah, they're always like the fucking Norwich.
We always kept them in because Scotland was so bad, and it was like happy days. Wales, what's her name? Italy still win it, so they're literally the shittest. Happy days. They've improved over the years, as to as Scotland, as to as England's. Everybody's improving, but then they were playing the day, and I went to the stairs. I was like, "Is Italy no shite?" He was like, "Aye." I was like, "All right." Subsequently, they got leathered 50 points to 3 last week off France. They also got leathered off England today. Scotland bet France. Bet England. And are now playing Wales as we speak, and they're currently winning. So they were winning 17-8, right?
That's Scotland, yeah.
Aye, and my dad came in and felt like they need to tell me. Since then, they're now 17-15. So, yeah, it's turning very much on its head. But personally, I find the sport to be a very spectator sport in the sense of it's a certain clientele that watches it. Typically posh Nazis. But
I fucking hate as well how there's don't get me wrong, right? Football in general more violent. I will admit that it's not exactly the family friendly sport that rugby is. But I fucking used to hate like the favoritism that goes with it, with rugby over football. You can't go into a pub anywhere here and watch like a football game, but there'll always be a Six Nations game on. Even if it's Scotland v England, you know, you can't go into, when we were at school, no football colours, but if you showed up wearing a rugby shirt, that's fine, that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm sorry.
It also blows my mind. See, people always going about, rugby is an elite sport, it's a better sport, and it's typically their fans know that it's the most viewed when it's on, blah, blah, blah. You put an Old Firm on, the same day as you put an England-Scotland, more people's watching the Old Firm.
In Scotland, yeah.
In general. I think 1000%. During the last Old Firm before.
I take you mean if it was put on like the BBC, not Sky sort of thing.
Well, even in general, the last Old Firm broke viewing records for a football match beyond the United Liverpool of 2014, I think. It was something like, we had 17 million viewers in the Liverpool game, and there was 16.9 million viewers in the Old Firm.
Yeah,
which is mind-blowing. And if you were to put the Old Firm on, and let's say you put it on BBC, it would destroy records in comparison to Scotland, England. Do you know what I mean? I think that's just, it's so, they're so simple-minded, rugby fans.
Football is more, I'd say. I mean, football is more England sport as well, but I'd say in particular it's definitely more Scotland sport than rugby is.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
The way it should be.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, yeah, I don't hate it as much as you, but I definitely see the problems in it, and I'm not a massive fan. Like, yeah, it does annoy me as well, the favouritism that sometimes get over football. That does piss me off a wee bit.
I hate rugby. I hate the arrogant rugby fans. That's kind of where I get my hatred for. So,
well, the ones that are automatically like, oh, that was shit.
The ones that just think they're above everybody.
Yeah.
So, so fuck them. But
I did.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a good segment to move off until because I, like you, I'm not the most biggest rugby fan. You know, I wouldn't say I hate it, but I certainly enjoy other things. Golf, football being two of them, certainly.
Yep.
But the NFL, obviously, with its fucking massive the final one, the showpiece game. I've actually forgotten the name of it. What's it called? Jamie, help me out.
Wait, what's it again?
I've fucking fucked this so hard. What's the final NFL game that happened? The Super Bowl. Oh
Super Bowl. All right.
yeah, Jesus fucking. I messed that one up badly. Oh, that was bad. That was really bad.
That was bad.
Now, that, in my opinion, is the worst sport that has ever been created. Right.
Right.
Worse than your, I don't know. Worse than your polos. Worse than your. I don't know. Try to think of. There's not many shit sports out there. Like
Bowling.
most sport, but like I enjoy going
Bowls.
bowling.
Bowls.
Even as a kid, I can still enjoy that.
Nah,
That's
embarrassing.
Nah, Jamie, I'm telling you, Super Bowl is shitter than bowls. That's a fact. I'm willing to stand by, right? And do you know why that is? You know what you're saying about rugby, about there being like 15 side passes and then someone gets tackled and then there's like a break in play.
Yeah.
With the NFL,
I've seen the NFL though. It's dire.
With the NFL, it's one punt up the field, and then it's just like, right, we're taking a break for 5 minutes. They talk tactics. They pick up the ball. They run about 5 yards. Someone gets tackled. There's a break for another 5 minutes whilst they talk tactics. There's like 40 million fucking adverts on the TV. It is the fucking shittest event that has ever been produced. And anyone that likes it is a fucking weirdo. I don't care who you are, you're fucking weirdo if you enjoy NFL.
I've got a mate who watches it religiously.
My Neil, who we had on the podcast, loves it. I do not understand why he loves it. It might be fun to play. I don't care if it's a fun sport to play because I've never tried it.
Can't imagine it would be.
But fucking watching it is fucking horrific. I would literally rather watch rugby for the rest of my life than have to deal with fucking more NFL games. I hate it that
What about the NBA? Are you a fan of the NBA?
More so than fucking Super Bowl, yes, 100%.
Because I enjoy the NBA.
The NBA though is in a weird way, it's almost got the opposite problem to American football. With American football, nothing happens, but with basketball, so much happens.
It's so struggle to keep up.
It's not even like you struggle to keep up, right? But say if you like watch a crowd, right, for like a basketball match, yeah. So like, say someone scores a basket, right? Hardly anyone will cheer, right, because they'll see literally 100 of those a match. If like football, you know, usually there's only 1 or 2 goals in a match, so whenever it happens, it's like this big fucking occasion. If someone scores a try in rugby, it's this massive thing because again, it doesn't happen. See, when you're scoring every 30 seconds, people just lose interest, I think.
You know what the maddest thing about it that got me into it is, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you've seen LeBron James's no-look pass, right? If you've never seen it, watch it. He picks up the ball, right? And it's all about attacking and then the defensive side of to get a stop, get a turnover, run up and get a point. And it is very fast-paced goals, basket. It's about making the space to the 3-pointers. Now, I like the tactic side of the game of moving and getting into position for a 3-point play, or whether it's running up to the basket, hitting a slam dunk, whatever it may be. Very, very good sport, right? But one of the things that came up was as he caught the ball like that, took it, faked to pass that way, and then just went like that and didn't even look, and the guy ran in and dunked it. And it was honestly one of the fucking coldest plays I've ever seen. At that moment, I was like, pretty good that. So I went and I watched the game. It was the Milwaukee Bucks were playing the Detroit Pistons, I think. Was it the game I watched? And it was fucking amazing. Like, I was constantly at the edge of my fucking seat. I was like constantly trying to follow it. And it was amazing. But it is a sport that I play. I've got the game on PS now, and I play it all the time, or at least when everyone's on. But it's just a fun game, and it's a very good sport. But It's not something I could get in the same sense of football. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I couldn't follow a team. I just like watching it.
It's the same for me. Like, I mean, I also I don't have the newest one. I have like one of the older ones. Like, I have NBA 17 on my Xbox, and like that's a game I got for like £2 in game night. And I mind one night specifically, both me and my flatmate Duncan couldn't sleep, so we literally just played like that fucking game for like 8 hours straight. Just like fucking, it's great fun. I fucking love it.
The game is good.
When they fucking catch me dead playing a fucking NFL game, I can tell you that much.
Nah. It's called Madden as well. You would need to be mad to play it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking pish.
I know.
Fuck that.
I know. God, I fucking hate American football. As well, fucking called it a football.
Aye,
they use their feet. They didn't use their feet.
Aye. No, they can though.
Yeah, well, they don't really though.
Fair. But fuck them anyway. Fucking yank bastards.
Classics. Yeah.
Rat bastards.
I know. Well, one more thing. We've really kept this a sports episode at the end, which, you know, we'll keep the fans very happy.
Exactly.
We done so well for the first like half an hour. We didn't mention anything to do with it. And this last wee bit went from boxing to football to rugby to NFL to NBA. We're getting them all out.
And exactly.
And now I'm going to bring it back to the tried and true, Jamie. Champions League is, of course, it's just a few days away. How are you down for a wee bit of a wager? For those that have been watching the podcast for a long time know that me and Jamie used to do Premier League predictions. We did for the first 2 years that we've done the podcast. We haven't really kept up with it since. But I'm fancying a wee bet, right? So I've got a list here of all the round of 16 predictions, right? What about we make a bet to see, like, we'll bet to see everyone that goes through, and whoever has the most right will pay the winner. Shall we say a tenner?
Right.
Okay, let me grab my phone then, because I'm going to need to write this down, so we know who's got who to win each one.
So can we select the same one, or do we need to go for the opposite?
No, we can select the same one if we want, but I imagine at some point we'll change, sort of thing. Okay, Jamie.
Yep.
First match. It's a big one. It's RB Leipzig versus Liverpool. Do I need to guess which one you're going to
Can we do that? Can we do that at the end?
Yeah, that's fair. We can do that at the end. Right. Okay. Porto view Juventus. Remember last year, Juventus had a very easy run to the final, but they blew it. Well,
Juventus are going through.
You think they're going through? They're doing okay in Serie A, but at the moment they're losing to Napoli, and they're going to stay in fourth if they do that.
They're going through.
They're going through. You're going to say to beat Porto. Yep. So actually, before we continue, are we going to do just the overall victors of each match, or you want to do a game 1, game 2 winner?
Nah, just do the overall. Who goes through?
Okay, so you're saying Juve.
Juventus to qualify, right?
Right. I am also going to judge that and say Juventus.
Shite bag. Copying bastard.
I will say, though, I don't think they'll get further than the quarters this year.
Nah, I don't know. I think you forget who they've got up front.
Yeah, but I also realise...
He is Mr. Champions League.
Yeah, but the last 2 years that Juventus hasn't done it.
Right, that's a very bold statement.
He hasn't done it.
That's a bold
statement. He hasn't won it.
Right. I'm going to stop you there. Move on. Fucking Messi fanboy.
We all know he's the best. Right. Atletico v Chelsea. There you go.
Atletico's going through.
I also indeed have Atletico. So
you're a fucking... You're nothing but a sheep, mate.
Nah, Shagos.
I think Simeone's tactics are just too lethal.
Yeah,
Chelsea's
I mean, they fucking...
Tuchel's done not too bad with his tactical side of the game, but
they leathered Liverpool last year. So,
aye, true.
Right. Lazio v Bayern. Bayern struggling this year. Lazio doing a wee bit... They're not struggling. They're doing okay, but not compared to the standards of last year. Who you got? Ciro Immobile, top goal scorer in the whole of Europe last year. More than 11.
Bayern are going through. Bayern are going through.
I also indeed think Bayern will go through.
Yeah, you're not about shit. Not about shit.
Right, fine. Fuck you. I'm going next then. Right. Okay then. Atalanta v Real. I really want to say Atalanta.
This is a hard one, by the way.
Atalanta were dreadful in the first half of the Champions League groups, but then the second half they fucking turned it on like fire. Where are they actually sitting in Serie A now?
They almost blew us away at Anfield. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah. Or something for the moment. 110, drawn 7, lost 4. I really want to say Atalanta, but I've bottled it. I'm going to say the Real will go through.
No, well, let's make it interesting then.
I'll
go Atalanta.
The first separation of the day. Right.
I had to someday today, you know what I mean? You're not about a shite back, so.
Well, Mönchengladbach v Man City here. And this might shock you, Jamie, but I'm going to go with Man City to go through. And who are you picking? I presume you also pick City.
You know something? I'm very, very confident.
No, you're not.
But I'm going to go City. I'm going to go City. Bear in mind, City are the worst European team I've seen. They're so fucking bad.
Always get the easy groups as well. It's bullshit.
I know.
Right, only 3 left. I'll let you pick first again. Okay. In my opinion, these next 2 are the hardest 2 to pick. Sevilla v Dortmund.
Dortmund's going through.
I'm going to say Sevilla.
Oh, you fucked it. You have fucked it.
They're doing well this year. What can I say? They're doing better. They've got better form than Dortmund. What can I say? I'm going off of the stats, my good friend. Right. Next.
Can I believe you in Sevilla?
Barcelona versus PSG. Now, bear in mind, Pochettino has a history of dodging the trophies.
Just to be clear, it's not the last one.
Neymar is out of this. There is no Neymar.
Shite anyway.
Didn't be a chance yet. Barca recently have got back into form, but overall not brilliant this year. Who do you have?
I'm going with Barca.
I was also going to say Barca, but
of course you will.
To make it interesting, I will say Paris.
Nah, I mean, right, because I'm going to win at Atlanta. The chances you're going to get Sevilla are a bit stupid, but you might get it. So this could be the decider. Mate, Atlanta winning that. You're mind blowing.
I want them to win. I'd be happy if they win. I really couldn't care less about PSG winning. And right now, the easiest one to predict, Jamie. Liverpool v RB Leipzig. What?
You're going first,
RB Leipzig. I'm sorry, but it's going to happen.
He's only gone and made the mistake, Liverpool. I was hoping they were going to make that mistake. Tell you for why. Because no matter what, we are a Champions League team.
We are.
First and foremost, you've made your decision. So what am
I No, that's fine. I've picked it. I'm happy.
We are a Champions League side. We do not lose in the Champions League. We are the best.
Last year when we got battered by them, and also
that was Atletico Madrid.
We also
RB Leipzig are a bunch of diddies, mate.
We also lost to other teams in the group stages.
Nah, it's not to worry about. Not to worry about.
All right, it's weird.
Leipzig. Oh, by the way, Scotland are getting beaten the Rugby, just to be clear.
Anyway, okay. So proof the rugby shite.
Exactly. RB Leipzig are a bunch of diddies.
You just say that because of the 5-0 against. I mean, they're only 4 points behind Bayern in the league at the moment.
Aye, but we know Bayern's having a bit of a torrid time.
Jesus, Wolfsburg are third. Dortmund are sixth, by the way. Just thought you should know. They're only what is that? They're only 13. No, sorry, they're only 14 points behind Bayern at the moment in the league. And Bayern aren't having the best.
Nah. Just you wait. Tenner's getting in my bank account very soon.
Okay, well, just in case you're wondering, so Jamie's picks to go through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League are Juventus, Atletico, Bayern, Atalanta, City, Dortmund, Barca, LFC. My picks to go through are Juventus, Atletico, Bayern, Real, City, Sevilla, PSG, RB Leipzig. Now, right, here's the thing. Who would I actually want to see go through? It's your group.
Yeah.
Even if you take Liverpool out, I'd still rather see your group go through than my one. But hey, we'll see what happens. And plus, at least it makes it interesting because we've got quite a few differences. We've only got 3 picks that are the same.
So as in
we've got 4 picks that are the same.
So as of next Wednesday, we will have decided or a winner will be.
No,
is there a week in between?
No, that's not mental. I think there's like a couple of weeks in between.
Oh wow, that's boring.
Hold on then.
Did he play at the end of the month as well?
Versus. Oh, so you want to do this? You want to do? You want?
No. I was just thought as of maybe the next podcast.
I think it's a couple of weeks away. But do you know what? It can build up. Then we can see who is the champion.
The suspense. Oh, I so hope next week, like all your teams are annihilate and then mine's just take over on the following. That'd be so good, man.
Well,
you know
if you all,
I would teabag you.
I'm not allowed that.
You wouldn't have a choice. That would happen.
Would it fuck COVID? But yeah, I think the good thing is as well, if you've been a long time viewer of the show, you know that currently the amount of football predictions that I've won and that Jamie have won as well. I've won 2. And how many has Jamie won? I can't think of a specific number. Can you think of a specific number, Jamie? Nah, must be high. All I'm saying is, if you want to bet on previous experience, you should go for me.
The fact you're even taking it to that sort of mentality just shows that you're scared. You're scared. You're scared. It's as simple as that.
Well, do you know what though? Right, if we depending upon how this goes, we'll then probably do the quarters and the semis and maybe the final as well. Forget it.
All I'm going to say is right now, okay. I'm currently putting all my predictions into a betting slip.
Are you actually?
Yes, right. And so just you watch this. Right,
how much are you going to put into it?
Just wait now. Right, you ready? Atletico, Chelsea, Atletico.
You want me to read them back to you? So
no. Mate, I know the winners. You know what I mean? I know the winners for the get go.
Okay.
The winner. I even know the winner of the tournament. I'm not disclose it on this, but
no. I think you should. I think you should put your buzz on the line if you're that confident.
Right, you ready for this?
Okay.
So all my bets together is 25-1, which you'll not be able to see because the camera. Yeah. 25-1.
Out of curiosity, could you also do mine just to see what my odds are if you done mine?
I'm going to put £7 on it, as and when, because that's all I've got left on my account. And
that is proof there of a great betting man, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. Right, so read yours back. So you said Barcelona, Leipzig.
No. I was PSG, Leipzig.
Oh, you were PSG.
Yeah.
Right. PSG, Leipzig, Juventus. You said Sevilla.
Yeah. City, Real.
Right. City, Real, and then what was your Bayern?
Bayern. What are the odds?
623-1.
What the fuck? Why is it so high compared to yours?
Because yours is optimism.
Right, no, I'll tell you what, right? Put a $5 in for me then, and either way, I'll give you the $5 for putting the bet down, and then we'll see how it comes out.
Right, so as it stands, you know what? No, you know what? I want you to do this, right? So I'm going to put £7 on your one.
I actually can't place bets on my phone at the moment.
No, that's fine. No. I'm going to put £7 on this for you, right?
Right.
Because I know it's that stupid, right? Now, what's going to happen here is £7. Now, it's returned 5 5.5 grand. Right? Now, if that bet comes in, not only are you getting not a penny of that,
No. We get
you'll
half.
then get your tenner.
No. We get half.
Right, fine.
That
We'll go
comes
to.
through.
We'll go
I'll
2
give you the 7 quid, but I'm getting half of that back.
We'll go 2.6k each. So I'm not going to put it on mine because I know mine's just going to win. It's pointless. It's futile.
Right.
But if somehow this comes in, you'll get 2.5 grand for it.
Well,
right?
We'll see in a few weeks for 2.5 grand rich.
Fool.
If it does, I cannot wait to clip this and put it on the podcast.
It's not going to happen.
Well, before we end it, then, have we got anything else to say?
No. What I will say is a massive point I need to make here.
Yeah.
That Bradley is a wobble still. Other than that, we're leaving it there. Right, so you can leave that in, and that's pretty much it. And won the Rangers. Happy days.
Yeah. Well, until next time, then, I've been Liam Whyte.
I've been Jamie Allan.
And we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
We talk football and current events, sitting and chatting with the very best guests. We're 2 Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes. Sitting and chatting.